Fen, do you guys understand Jose Aldo's frustrations, and do you agree that it would be a massive shame if he left? Kenny, I'll start here. Certainly, I think we all agree it would be a damn shame if he left right now, because he showed you at UFC 200 just how much fight there is left in the greatest featherweight of all time. And I do understand his frustrations, but I also understand Dana White's side, and he can't make Conor McGregor fight in a weight class or fight an opponent that he doesn't want to fight. And at least right now, the decision that they made was to allow Conor to become a simultaneous two-division champion, and all sources point to them stripping him of that featherweight title, or having him vacated, I guess is the way to put it. But at least right now, Kenny, it's a sticky situation with Jose Aldo.
It really is. It's unfortunate. I do understand his frustration in that he wants the same treatment, or wanted the same treatment as a champion as Conor McGregor is getting now. The difference is, and it doesn't mean it's right, but the difference is that Conor McGregor is a much bigger star. He's a guy that not only is bringing in a high level of skill, but he's bringing in a lot of fans, and that's something that Jose Aldo wasn't quite able to do. So obviously, he's going to get preferential treatment. He's going to be able to do things like keep his belt for a little bit. And for Jose Aldo's side, here's a guy who wanted to fight Anthony Pettis, and he was told that if he did go up to 55, he would have to vacate his belt. Dana White saying that, Conor will have to give up one of the belts if he does beat Eddie Alvarez, which, hopefully they stick to. But this sport is so different than the NBA or the NFL, where you kind of work your way up, you beat the guys, and there's a direct path to that world championship. In the fight game, it's a combination of pro wrestling, right? Kind of like the business side, the promotion side of it, and then there's the actual skill side of it, the fighter, who that fighter is, what he brings to the table. And fighters kind of forget about that stuff. That, yes, it does matter that if you're an amazing fighter, if you bring us a high skill level, if you've had the belt for a long time. But at the end of the day, this is a business. That is how you get paid. Conor McGregor has been able to balance those two things extremely well, unlike any fighter we have seen before. So I do get Jose Aldo's frustrations, but I do get the UFC side of things where they say, well, wait a sec. Jose Aldo hasn't been so consistent with showing up healthy to fights. He has dropped out of a lot of fights. It doesn't mean he should be treated that way, but I do get both sides of the coin.
When I first became an MMA fan, I had a real hard time with the fact that the most worthy guys didn't necessarily get the championship fights. And my first indoctrination into mixed martial arts, at least in a working capacity other than MMA Live, was under Bjorn Rebney, who was the biggest UFC fan I had met in my life at that point in time. And his goal was to try to take matchmaking and that process out of the equation. And, I guess it worked to varying degrees and didn't work to other degrees, but ultimately that's easier said than done. And there are obviously a lot of factors that go into it. Jose Aldo does have a belt right now. It's not the belt that he wants, but hopefully we get clarity to this situation, and hopefully Aldo moves on, into this part of his career in the UFC, because I just, again, man, I'm just hoping to call a Jose Aldo fight before the book closes with him inside the octagon. Next up from Kyle J. Harris. Any guesses, Kenny, on this post-UFC 205 announcement from Conor McGregor? Bro, I got no idea.
Man, I don't know either. I don't know if he's planning on taking a boxing match with someone like Floyd Mayweather. Of course, that's something that's been talked about for a while. I don't know. Is he talking about retirement, leaving with two belts? Is he talking about going up to 170 pounds and maybe challenging someone like George St. Pierre? I do not know.
I think that it's the welterweight title. I mean, that's the only thing that I can really think of. I don't think it's to announce that he's, getting engaged or that his longtime girlfriend is pregnant. I think it's a fight-related announcement. And I think if at that point in time he has a featherweight belt over one shoulder and a lightweight title over the other shoulder, I think Woodley Thompson will have just played out. I think he calls out the winner and tries to become a 3-division UFC champion.
What an animal. I mean, it's crazy. We were just talking about we haven't seen any fighter like Conor McGregor ever. And again, if he were to do that, again, the legacy of Conor McGregor would continue. That'd be unbelievable.
TJ, what do you got?
Can we stop this whole Conor McGregor is going to box Floyd Mayweather? It's not going to happen anywhere.
It's just fun.
Yeah,
it's just fun to talk about.
That's like saying, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if I won the lottery?" Like, it's fun.
Hey,
it's fun to talk about.
If CM Punk can fight in the UFC, Conor McGregor can fight Floyd Mayweather. Why not?
Because an athletic commission, real quick, an athletic commission will not license a boxer who has never boxed before to fight the world champion. Not going to happen. And what's that?
A bunch of amateur fights.
Amateur boxing?
Yeah.
You don't go
TJ,
from the amateur ranks.
You perpetuate this conversation by jumping in and in sort of a passive-aggressive way wanting to talk Floyd Mayweather. Are you just saying that logistically you don't think it's going to happen? I mean, he very briefly mentioned Mayweather, and you had to drag it down this path.
Well, I'm just sick of hearing it. This is ESPN, like, 1st and 10 talk. This is not real. This is, what if Michael Phelps could run as fast as he swims? Would he beat Usain Bolt?
You're talking about combat sports, though. You're talking about a guy who'd be a world champion, a potential world champion in 2 different divisions in a manner, in the way of getting it done with striking, with his hands for the most part.
2 different sports. This is, what if Usain Bolt was a wide receiver for the Cowboys? Oh, he runs. That's part of the sport. Come on.
Let me tell you this. If there's a potential to make money, if there's potential for Floyd Mayweather to make perhaps the biggest payday of his life, and for Conor McGregor to make the biggest payday of his life, they would find a way to make it happen.
Saboba Casino.
If Vegas is gonna make money off it, or any other city has the potential to make money off of it, they will get that thing passed. I don't believe that whole thing of they wouldn't make it happen because of the. Right. We know that money is the biggest motivator for anything, and that the fact that Conor McGregor hasn't had a high level boxing match, I don't think that really would be a big roadblock.
I mean, I'm a little bit ignorant on some sides of this, but I feel like if they signed that fight as a boxing match, the Nevada State Athletic Commission would probably find a way to approve it. But I could be wrong. In any event, I think it's a massive long shot, and I think that Conor's future is as a UFC lightweight, but maybe as a UFC welterweight. We'll see what he has to say UFC 205, and we will